How's it going, guys? My name is Alex.
Good evening, good afternoon.
And welcome to another Fantasy Premier League video. We're going to be talking about the Gameweek 28 selection for my team. And I wanted to share my wildcard plan, a wild plan, because many people are planning to activate it in either 31, Gameweek 35. I want to go a little bit earlier ahead of the curve. I will be getting the points from key players like Haaland and maybe some Brighton players as well, maybe Nottingham Forest defenders, ahead of the curve. And I want to get these players into my team faster than anyone else. And I'm going to be showing you the wildcard in a second. But first and foremost, my shambolic performance and the nightmare with assistant managers finally ends. We're getting another small radar, like 1% drop of our rank. And like I reminded you that I was planning, and I suggested you to do the same, activate Moyes chip in 24. I slept through that lane and I forgot to activate it. And then I would have probably changed it to Emery. So it would be a nice gain of like 20-30 points and we would be around like 100k rank. It's not a bad thing that we still have that special chip, and I probably will be using that closer to the very late business end of the season. For this game week, I don't really think that I'm missing out on points much. To my surprise, many of the like streamers, FPL content creators, they went with Palmer captain too. So I should have probably reversed my decision and go with Salah, because it feels like there's a lot of copycats for like top creators. And if you want to break into top 100k, you need to go against the grain a little bit. I think I'm gonna be rolling my transfer. I don't really need to make a move. I obviously have players who are like injured, suspended, and I still have a very powerful bench, I think, to sustain that. And the team looks as following. Roy against Man United, there's a potential clean sheet, I think, in this one. Manchester United look very poor these last few games. And then we have Gabriel as well, who can even score from a corner. It's been a while, actually. It's time for Gabriel to step in and step up as well. And then we have Trent against Southampton. This is the first worry for me, because I feel like if there is a game against PSG looming in like a few days after the Southampton game, there is a chance that they're going to be rotating a lot of players. All right, they obviously need to, score a few goals. Trent can be hooked even during the halftime break. So these are my worries. And the thing that he is highly owned, I don't really worry that much. And of course, he can do the damage. But in my wildcard, I'm actually getting rid of Trent because he's helping me fund other players. But I'm going to be getting a different Liverpool asset, I think a little bit more secure. So this is my first worry. But if he's missing that game entirely, I still have people on my bench to substitute. And then the third defender is Kurkus against Tottenham, who are very poor, and like it's just a mixed bag. Sometimes they can score goals, sometimes they can't. And they couldn't score goals against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League, and they couldn't score a goal against Man City, which is a team that is leaking goals. And that were the first game away, the other one at home. And I think Kurkus has a potential for a clean sheet. Zabarny probably will return. And Bumo playing against Villa at home. Villa are very dodgy team in the Prem. They perform very well in the Champions League, but somehow in the Prem, like that game against Crystal Palace, they conceded 4 goals. So there's a chance that Mbuma will be on the score sheet, and I'm happy to hold him up until the blank Gameweek 29. And then I have Kluivert, who's playing against Tottenham again. Potential for scoring another cracker would be fantastic. And then Palmer against Leicester, who is a captaincy material, but I think I'm skipping this time. It looked like he was kind of like, when he was playing on that pitch, it felt like, given that he already like was playing EAFC till 1 AM on that match day night, I think he's just like prefers EAFC more to like playing for Chelsea club, and the attitude is not there. It's just like the body language. Obviously, I don't know what's happening in the Chelsea team there. And he missed so many chances. Very unusual to see Palmer in that condition. And he can score a goal or two against Leicester. But I would rather go with a reliable captain. And it feels like this is one of those seasons when everything goes Liverpool's way. The way they've beaten PSG as well, they conceded so many chances and didn't concede a single goal. So crazy. And still managed to win that game. I mean, it's an easy fixture. Obviously, Salah can be benched and rested. So these are two of the worries. So that's why vice captaincy is on Palmer, who is guaranteed to start against Leicester unless there's an injury. And if Salah is missing the game entirely, I would be actually pretty happy with that. And then Nwaneri is my other player attacker, kind of differential. And I actually expect him to score in that game because I brought him for exactly this game and a game against West Ham. The game against West Ham at home they lost, so maybe just variance kicks in and Waneri starts scoring like he does in the Champions League. And then we have up front Isak, who is again injured out. There is a cup final looming as well for Newcastle, so they may preserve Isak for that. But I still think they're fighting for these European places, and just beating West Ham away, like at least scoring a few goals. They need a striker. They played without a striker against Liverpool. No Isak, no conversion. They had some chances, by the way. So I really expected them to score. And then we have Chris Wood, whom I just cannot sell, man. He's just scoring goals on demand. He just blanked last game week, but no worries. He will probably score against Man City now. And this is my team. On my bench, I have Cunha, of course, whom I brought in ahead of the curve, and I was punished, rightfully so, and wasted transfer. But now to the most juiciest part, and that is the wildcard. So I was building this wildcard meticulously, and also based off this planner by Ben Krellin. You can check him out on Twitter at Ben Krellin. First and foremost, not all of these games will be doubles, so it's like a potential, depending on the cup results and the draw, I think. For the double game week 32, we all obviously know that we need to get more Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest players. And we obviously know that there's going to be some double game weeks maybe down the line, but we won't know about them before game week 31. So the only game week that we probably will know teams playing in would be game week 33, most likely. Yes, that makes a lot of sense to play wildcard in 31, but let's take a look at the wildcard that I've built and whether I'm supposed to be worried about not having certain players. I have Alisson in goal, so I decided to trade Trent, and Alisson costs exactly the same amount of in-game currency as Raya. So there you go. I don't want to have double Arsenal defense because it has been letting me down the entire season. And Trent, it looks like he is not really the output for him is not really that devastating. It's not like he's getting 3 bonus points every game. Yes, he's getting them occasionally. I think double-digit hauls for Trent are kind of scarce, so I would rather get Guardiola for that money, and Alisson will be in goal. And I will save that to get Haaland. So Haaland and Guardiola, it's pretty difficult to get both of them without making a lot of transfers. And some people don't have free moves, and some people will be playing using these transfers to fill in starting 11 in Gameweek 29 to avoid using the blank game week. So this is for game week 30. This is my wildcard. Guardiola, Kirkus, Gabriel, Munoz. He's definitely not going to be the captain. Captaincy will be probably on Salah. So there you go. Salah, Clovers, Eze, Isak, Haaland, and Wood up front. And on the bench we have Verbruggen, which I don't really think that I will be building him a lot, but I can play him against Leicester and West Ham in 2 game weeks, where Liverpool, not necessarily they have bad game weeks, but I equally can bench boost in one of these game weeks as well, by the way. So bench boost, this is just a wild card with bench boost in mind, and for me I have 0 in the bank, so you probably won't be able to create the same team. But for me it's nice just because I have so many doubles covered with Crystal Palace and Newcastle. I don't think that I'm gonna be getting Gordon, because I just noticed that he wasn't really forming FPL-wise on the same level that he did mid-season. And for Hall, he is injured, and probably it's just he'll be only available next season, it looks like. So I don't really want to rely on other assets. And yes, Newcastle will get some doubles, but I just can't trust anyone in that Newcastle team other than Isak. There can be a conversation with getting Murphy as a crazy differential, and he actually can perform for you, as he did in certain game weeks. But for me, I think we get in double Crystal Palace as well, who have another double themselves. And then we have Haaland ahead of the curve. We get Wood, keep him, of course, why not? We have Waneri still on the bench, it's a cheap differential as well. And we have Minte, a new player as well, and we have Aina. These are new players for my team. Maybe you had these players for your team, so maybe you don't even need to use the wildcard. So this would be 8 transfers made. Now, justifying the wildcard, I think 6 transfers is where wildcard is kind of justified. And when you return and look at this potential double game week table, where Crystal Palace is covered already by 2 players, we don't know the injury to Mateta, like whether he's going to be converting the chances at the same tenacity, like the same ferocity, and he's gonna be making all these runs, trying to head the ball now, given that there is some kind of like psychological situation. I know myself. I mean, I never played on this high level, but when I broken my nose playing football, I wasn't really, as a goalkeeper, I wasn't really eagerly going into 1v1s, aerial duels or whatnot, as they used to before for the first like 2 or 3 weeks. So you don't know, man. Maybe he's gonna be continuing smashing it. So that's why I'm not activating the wildcard right now. I'm waiting until game week 30. By that time, we'll figure out maybe Mateta will be a better striker than Wood, for instance. So there is the double up for Crystal Palace in Munoz and Eze. In case there's another game week. We have already Isak, and I just don't really think that, first and foremost, we are not getting a double for Newcastle there, and I don't think that I need more. Man City may get a double game week there, and I already have 2 Man City players, so this kind of covered. Aston Villa, I just don't really want to get any of their players. Kind of dodgy, their performances in the Premier League lately. Yes, of course, one of these players can become our good old friend Rodgers. I can try that. I can try to get rid of one of these players and get Rodgers. I just don't really think like he has been getting exclusively blanks for me lately, so maybe just by the low of averages and like some kind of variance will kick in and he starts scoring. But they play Southampton and Newcastle, so these are the fixtures where Villa can score a few goals. And then Fulham. I don't want any Fulham players with the rotation of Raul and Munoz. Muniz. And then in the middle, the goals are going, like you get goals from different players. Pereira, Smith Rowe, even Adama chips in. So I think I'll skip on Fulham. Brighton, we already have Minte covering Brighton a little bit. And West Ham, I don't think that I really want to get Bowen, but I can try, but I need more money for that. He costs like 7 million. And then Bournemouth, Southampton, obviously we're skipping this. Bournemouth, if they're doubling, I already have 2 players from Bournemouth. And then Nottingham Forest, if they're doubling, I already have 2 players from Nottingham Forest as well, probably key players. Yes, there's obviously, you can get Gibbs White, you can get Elanga. Elanga probably will be a better shout as well. I mean, yeah, I just don't really think that Nottingham Forest are going to be Everton. Look, this could be a conversation. One of these players can easily become Elanga. And it's not like because I didn't pick him. No, I don't know, man. For me, Nottingham Forest are a team where I would still bet on would score majority of the goals and get most of the points. And then Brentford, this is where I'm saying goodbye to my Brentford players. I think they're playing Chelsea. Could be a cheeky, difficult fixture. Not a cheeky fixture, of course. Arsenal away, Brighton at home. This is not favorable run for them. Maybe at the end of the season, I will get Bumo for 36. But I don't think we need to bet on them that much. Arsenal, well, this team has already doubled up on Arsenal and Vaneri and Gabriel. And by that time, we probably will get to see Saka recovering as well. And I don't know, man. If Saka is recovering, this can completely change my plans. And I can change my wildcard drastically, just getting rid of some players and getting Saka in at any cost. And then we have Manchester United, which I don't really think people would like to get a single player from. And this is pretty much saying that if I were to wildcard in Gameweek 31, this team would just change maybe just by 1 or 2 players. Which if you save your transfers, and I already saved my 1 or 2 transfers, and maybe I'll save another one in the blank game week. So that would be 2 or 3 transfers accumulated till Gameweek 31. And if I were to like regret my decisions, I could easily fix that. And I don't really think that when you're creating a wildcard like this, you will be in dire need of like many moves. By game week 35, you probably can actually start accumulating more transfers. And you can even stretch to 5 transfers by game week 36, where you can go rogue differential in the final 2 game weeks. So this is my idea. With bench boost in regard to bench boost, this is a fantastic team for bench boost. I can bench boost legit any game week. And if you ask me if there was an opportunity to use 2 chips in the same game week, this game week 30 and this selection of players looks insane for a bench boost. All the fixtures that my team has, except for Munoz and Eze, are home fixtures. And my bench, which I think is like the weakest players from in regards to the opponents and maybe like just, I don't know, chances of them scoring points, they can still score a good 15-20 points between them. So, which is actually justifying the bench boost by default. So I think this is a good idea to use your wildcard ahead of the crowd. You tell me if you're planning doing so. I still have assistant manager in play. So what I was planning to do is to activate my wildcard in 30. And then if Newcastle was doubling twice, I would have gone for Leicester. I would have had 2 fixtures, Manchester United and Crystal Palace for Newcastle at home. And then another double would have been Aston Villa and another fixture for Newcastle too. So players would have been crazy tired. But at the same time, I would have had 5 fixtures for Newcastle assistant manager Eddie Howe. So I may just as well keep my assistant manager chip till the end of the season and use all these bench boosts, all the, like if I had triple captaincy as well in later down the line, if you have yours. And then if you saved your assistant manager chip like I did, just go rogue differential on the table bonus, because I've seen how Glasner garnered 40 points in 2 game weeks. It's crazy, man. 40 points. I will bite a hand for 40 points right now at this point of the season. But yeah, that has been the game, the team selection video and the wildcard as well. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you have any thoughts on that, and I'll see you next time. Peace.